It's hard for me in here.
Okay, I can appreciate that.
Nothing I can do about it.
So, now, like I told you, when we were out there, said you were not under arrest. You weren't handcuffed coming in, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that door doesn't lock. This is a voluntary interview. Okay. Obviously, we need to do the best we can to get the full story. We can find your wife and you can get back to normal. Obviously, part of that involves talking with you. So, again, this is a voluntary thing. Like I told you out there, I haven't lied to you. I'm not going to start now.
We could have done this at my house.
No, this part we can't do it
because
now.
It's not voluntary.
No, it's completely voluntary.
Then I could leave if I want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to. I'm just.
Yeah. You try that door right now.
At some point, could we I want to help you. I want to get this going because I didn't do it, and I want you to find whatever the hell happened to her.
Me too.
I want it to happen. But just know that it's a little hard for me if we could sometime
I respect
maybe
that.
A point
we can take
out in the hallway or something.
I get it. So
go do your thing. I'm an open book, man.
I don't mean to insult you.
No.
But you can read English, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have to ask that because I've had people before that
I can read.
When I go over a rights waiver, later on they magically can't read English also.
I can read English.
So again, I don't mean to insult you. So it says before we ask any questions, you must understand your rights. You understand that part?
Yes.
You have the right to remain silent. Is it locked? That's weird.
These are my Miranda warnings.
Yeah.
So I'm being arrested.
You're not being arrested.
So why am I being read my Miranda warning?
Because it's the standard protocol that I do, just to make sure that we are on the same page with everything. I told you honesty. I be fully aware of everything.
Okay.
I told you you're not being arrested. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You understand that part? You have the right to talk to a lawyer before we ask you any questions, and to have a lawyer with you during questioning. Do you understand that part?
Yes.
If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. Do you understand that part?
Yes.
If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you'll still have the right to stop answering at any time. Do you understand that part?
Yes.
You also have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to a lawyer.
It seems fair.
Understand that part?
It seems like a right that's in the Constitution or something, so I'm fully on board with any of that.
And I, Matheau
Metheau Moore, Moore,
have read the statement of my rights, and I understand what my rights are. No promises or threats have been made to me. Is that fair and accurate?
Right. Okay. Yes.
I'll give you that pen so we can both write at the same time.
Today is
the 27th.
5/27/20. Time is.
The time is 4:51. Put my info down. Okay. So now, when you called to report Emily on Monday evening, Officer Hollis is the one that came out, correct?
Black guy, heavy set dude.
Yes.
Hollis.
Yes. Very friendly guy?
Yes, very nice.
Okay. Did he treat you well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did he have you provide any sort of... I can't even talk. It's been that kind of day,
Trust
right?
me, I'm gonna have a hard time talking.
Well, if you get tongue-tied, I will totally get it. Did he have you fill out any sort of written statement as to what had happened?
No.
Okay. What I would like from you, and I've got paper here for you, and I will leave and give you a piece. If you want me to stay in here, I can stay in here. It's up to you.
Staying here with me.
Okay. And I'll be completely quiet, but I just need a statement from you. You have to, starting from, when you went to bed on Sunday evening until you called the police on Monday at whatever time it was.
Okay. I mean,
And I understand that you've talked about it and everything else like that. However, it's just a procedural thing that needs to happen. And honestly, I told you I like honesty. I'm not happy that Officer Hollis didn't get that on Monday.
it's probably fresher in my mind then.
I get it.
I've gone through this in my head with the timeline, and some of my times don't line up. I made a phone call when I thought I was sleeping.
Okay.
So, I could try my best, but I don't want to make anything false.
You're human, right?
Yeah, I'm human.
And all I want is your best.
It might be, specific times I couldn't really be like, this is when I did this, this is when I did that. I could if I had my phone, sort of.
Just the best that you can.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I mean,
know that the times are going to might be wrong, and I would hate to give you a wrong time, and then be like, suspect me of something.
I just don't want a blatant lie like the sky's purple.
Absolutely
something
not.
like that.
If
you say this happened at 4:51, and I'm like, oh no, that's bullshit. It was 4:55.
No,
you lie.
It could be an hour off. It could
Okay.
be. I mean, it was night. It was just like any other night. It wasn't
Correct.
So I'm not like checking my time.
Right, and you're human.
It was a normal night. We drank. We came home. We hung out. I left because I wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. I don't go back into the bedroom because I don't want to wake her up. I sleep in my son's room, who doesn't live there anymore, on the couch, and I slept. I made texts, and I talked to people during that period.
Okay.
And it's on the phone.
Just the best in your own words.
But I can't tell you, hey, I made texts at 5, at 3, you know what I mean?
Right.
I can't. I won't write down times, but I'll just kind of give you a brief, like a story without times, because I think.
But just any instance that you can recall.
Yeah.
Like I'm not so time focused right now. It's just the fact that I want to be able to make sure I have everything sequentially. And
I feel comfortable.
From how I understand it, I want to make sure that I can pick up and go, oh yeah, that's right. When he woke up, he then moved the refrigerator onto the roof. Whatever it may be, I want to make sure that sequentially I understand.
Could you help me write it? Because I can't spell, for one. I'm pretty horrible. Or just kind of help me.
Well, if you need help with the word, I can help you spell it, absolutely. And I'm not here to judge spelling.
Do you want the whole day?
Just from when you went to bed, that Sunday night.
So you don't want to know about where we were prior to coming home?
No,
Okay,
I'm not so. Because that's always stuff that we can follow up on.
Because I'm not really sure when we got home.
Okay.
From being out.
Okay. So, just name, address, date of birth, and then you don't have to worry about anything on this side. Your handwriting is actually much more pleasant than some other ones that I've seen.
Do you want the Westerville?
Yes, please.
What's this? Brick?
And I really want you to just take your time, make sure that we're all
Yeah, I mean,
on the same page.
We got home from being in Uptown. We talked. It was her birthday. We talked. We went to bed. Together. Do I tell Do I say we had sex or?
Any details like that? I mean, we're all adults here.
Made love, I guess. It was her birthday. Fell asleep. I fell asleep. I'm not sure if she did. She might have stayed up. I'm not sure, but I passed out. Woke up. Went up to pee or urinate. I did look at the clock. I don't want to say that I knew what time it was, but whenever I wake up to go to the bathroom, I look at the clock to see how close it is to the morning, and that it determines whether I take a sleeping pill or not.
Okay.
Which is, I don't know the name of it. I took a half of one, and it was earlier, so I'm gonna say, I don't want to say, I mean like 1 maybe, which is early.
Okay.
And I woke up to urinate, went to my son's room, to sleep on couch. Couch is COUCH. Spent time looking through TROUGH phone. Made a few text messages at MESSAGES. Made a few text messages. I might have posted on Facebook. I don't know. I don't want to say I did. If I didn't look. Might have posted on Facebook. I texted my stepfather. I know I did. He texted back. I don't know what time it was. It was 3. I think he got back to me at 8. From what I saw today, I actually texted back to him at 8, so I might have been awake later than I thought. But at some point, late morning, late morning, late night, early morning, or
yeah,
late.
I get
like 8, 7, 6, I don't know, whenever that's late night, late early morning, or it's at some point.
Was it sun up?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you. At some point, I'm going to say it was starting to be dawn, because there's a reason for that, because usually I do fall back asleep before it gets light out, and then I usually wake up at like 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you know what I mean? I didn't wake up till like past 11, I think, which is really late for me.
Okay.
I could have woke up a few times in between then too. At some point, fell back asleep. Because I think I did at some point in mid-morning make a text to somebody. I'm not sure. I don't know if I should put that down.
Yeah.
I might have made a mid-morning text. I remember awaking The text says the time was like almost 12. I could have woke up at 11, just lied in bed for a little bit. Waking towards how T-W-O-R-D?
T-O-W-A-R-D-S.
T-O-W-A-R-D-S?
Yes.
Towards noon. I text Emily to see if we were going to a Memorial Day. How do you spell that? M-A-M?
O-R-I-A-L.
M-A-O?
M-E-M.
M-E-M.
O-R-I-A-L.
I-A-L. Day picnic. I don't know the guy's name. I got it written down if you want it. It's on my phone. I'm sure you guys already know. I think.
I've talked about it.
Picnic. She didn't respond. Respond. I'm not 100% sure, but I checked my Find a Phone app, and it said that she was there.
How long after you sent the text to when you, if you had to ballpark it?
I don't know.
More than an hour?
No, it was probably within
like 5-10 minutes.
I'm guessing. I'm gonna guess. I don't know, but I do know that I looked just to see if she was still in the house, because you know what I mean. It was later. I thought maybe she could have left. Or because she didn't come in and wake me up, which is not like she does that. I mean, we had someplace to go. She didn't respond. At some point, I checked my Find a Phone, and it was still there. I don't know how much longer I lied in bed, but I know I made another text to her at around 3, and said, "Well, I guess we're not going." And I had already been up in the house, so I didn't know her phone was on then. I hadn't seen her phone by then, I don't think. Or I wouldn't have texted. It would have been right there. I don't know how to word that. She didn't respond. I retexted. I got up, looked through the house. I checked for her car. Which was there. Which was there. Went back to my son's room. Lied on the couch. Flipping through phone. I don't know if I made any text messages or not. I'll have to look. Some point in the afternoon, I noticed her phone, I noticed her wallet.
Okay. Where were those at?
Her phone was next to her bed. Her wallet was, I don't remember. Her car, from before. All of a sudden, just at some point in the afternoon, I realized that there was something wrong. That everything was, all her stuff was there, and she was gone, and she hadn't come back. realized, R-E-A-L-I-Z-E-D. I called her friend Celeste. That would be a C. Celeste. We talked. She said to call police. You guys shut up. Can I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Got home from being in Uptown. We talked. We went to bed together, made love, fell asleep. Woke up to urinate. Went to my son's room to sleep on couch. Spent time, looked through phone, made a few text messages, might have passed.
Hi.
Facebook at some point. I just want to make sure. At some point, I fell back to sleep. I might have made a mid-morning text. I remember awakening towards noon. I texted Emily to see if we were going to the Memorial Day picnic. She didn't respond. I got up, looked through the house. I checked for her car, which was there. I went back to my son's room, only because I didn't think that anything was at that point wrong. She walks around. She does things. She's just not there at that point. To the house, I checked for her car, which was there. I went back to my son's room, lying on the couch, flipping through the phone. At some point in the afternoon, I realized there was something wrong. I called her friend Celeste. We talked. She said to call the police. When I saw her phone, at some point, when I saw her phone, which was probably the last thing I really was like, this is not right. When I saw her phone.
Okay.
Because the phone is pretty much her thing. She carries it all the time. I mean...
Can I read over it now?
Yes.
Make sure that... You have very nice handwriting. I'm telling you, it's
Better than mine.
It didn't do any good in school.
Pretty good handwriting.
No, you don't.
That's good.
Your handwriting is awful.
You know what stinks is when you make really bad spelling mistakes and they notice it. The handwriting is so small.
Well,
So like, yeah, it's not spelled.
we're not the spelling police.
Good. Thank you.
I could introduce you to some of my coworkers, and your head would spin. I'm from being in Uptown. We talked. So you don't remember what time you came back from Uptown?
That we came directly from, I think our last bar was the, not the Hook Line Sinker, what's that other old school? Bag of Nails.
Old bag?
Okay.
And I think I had the receipt. It was only for like 20. We got fish fry, maybe a couple drinks. I don't think we were there for that long.
Okay.
You could check with them. I think they probably will know us.
And then from Old Bag, you went straight home?
We walked across the street. We were parked across the street behind Cold Blaze, and we went right home.
Okay. And was the sun still up when you got home?
I'm guessing that it probably was,
Okay.
but I don't know.
Were you intoxicated when you
Yeah.
drove back?
I mean, yeah.
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Well, we've all done it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We were
Okay. So
we weren't stumbling drunk, but we were definitely drunk.
If you had to approximate that time?
8, 9. We went to my father's. We gardened. You'd have to check with him, but I think we left there around 4 or 5. We got there at noon. We usually garden for about 4 hours. It was hot.
Okay.
He had friends over. We went home. We washed up, and we went right. We didn't even take showers. We just kind of washed up because we were pretty dirty.
Yeah.
And we went to the bar. So I mean, we were there early.
Okay.
So and we wouldn't make. It's not going to be like getting home at 12 or 1 o'clock at night. It's earlier. It's like 9, 10. That no later, and it could have been even earlier than that.
So you're thinking 8, 9-ish, 9, 10?
I don't. Yeah, probably. Yeah, 8, 9, 10. That
Okay.
area.
All right.
in there.
So then you get home and you hang out. Do you drink any more at home? You guys were cutting yourself off?
She has beers in the fridge, and I The only reason there's beer at my house right now is because that's all that was in there. I don't drink beer, so I do.
What's
I
your
wouldn't
preference?
get home at vodka.
Okay.
So I sip vodka on the rocks, and I didn't have any at home. So usually when I get home after drinking, I don't. I usually, that's it for me. She'll continue to drink sometimes, but
Did she keep drinking?
I don't know.
Okay. But you did not?
No.
Okay. And you guys hung out and talked?
We hung out in the kitchen, and we got really along really super well. It was her birthday. We started making out, and we went into the bedroom, and we had sex.
Okay. And that's in... So there's the master bedroom,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that I'm differentiating.
The master bedroom.
And
Absolutely.
then there was the what you called your man cave.
That would be my son's room.
That Joey's
I'll call it.
room?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to make sure that I'm separating right. So you went into your bedroom and had sex.
I went into the master bedroom with my wife.
Yes, sir.
And that's where she likes. Sometimes she sleeps on the porch on the ground. She likes to be outside. I don't know if she went in there like at some point. As far as I know, I fell asleep. I woke up because I have to pee. She was there. I mean, I would know if she wasn't. I would just, you know how you know if your wife's sitting out there. I didn't have any inkling that she wasn't there. I remember looking at the clock because I like to time how much time I have left to sleep. So whether I take a pill to fall asleep or not, I don't know if I took one or not. I might have been drunk enough or still kind of like did not need one. And I went into Joey's room. I lied on the couch. It's something that happens every night. I don't think there's a night that goes by that I sleep all the way through in the master room. Because I always have to get up and go pee because of my prostate. And I do remember it. Usually it's pretty much I fall asleep an hour. This when I was lying in bed for quite a bit, and I made a couple texts, and I have it's on my phone that I actually I looked at my phone today, and I think I don't know how it works, but it was an 8 o'clock phone call. I could have fell asleep and woke up at 8 and then fell back asleep. The next thing you know, I slept into the day, which is very unusual, like 11, because the first thing I did was text her and be like, are we still going to that party? And that was, I think, towards 12.
But hold on. So you got up to go pee, and the routine is after you pee, then you don't climb back into bed with her?
Right. I don't.
And the routine is that you look at the clock to see if you should take a sleeping pill or not?
How much time I have left before, if it's like real late into the night, I won't take one. So, just to have it. But if it's early, I do. But I don't know. It was early, but I don't know if I took one or not. So.
Do you know what type of medicine?
It's like a Ambien, but it's some other derivative of Ambien, and I take half of one.
Okay. All right.
And they definitely knock you right out.
But you don't remember that night if you took one?
I don't remember, and I'd probably not because I was up.
Okay.
Making phone calls, or not phone calls, but texting, and
who's up at that time?
You'd have to check. I have a friend in Vegas, so he would be, and he's up at, so if it's 3, it's 12 out there. I'm not sure. You'll have to check.
You don't remember who you texted?
I remember texting my stepfather, and that was the one that was at 8, and he's 8 our time. He's East Coast, so
8 a.m. you texted him?
After midnight. That's right.
So is it after midnight, or is it 8 a.m. that you texted?
It was that night, that early morning, 8 o'clock a.m.
Our time?
Yes, he's a New York dude.
Okay, but what about like at 1 or 2 or whatever time it was?
I made a post at like 3 in the morning, and I think it was to my brother, Paul. And
like Facebook post?
On the iMessenger. You'll have to check. I don't want to lie. I don't want to say, you know what I mean? But I think it was something funny about the MMA fighter guy, the guy that runs the UFC, that's having some sort of stuff that's off the shore. He's doing distancing fighting.
So was this a social media post or like a text message?
It was
post?
iMessenger is like a messenger that other people can't see. It's just whoever I send it to.
So that you sent it iPhone to iPhone?
Yeah.
And this was at like 3 in the morning?
I think it was at 3.
And this was stepbrother?
Half-brother. Paul that lives in Florida.
Half-brother.
And I'm fairly, I've been kind of doing my thing, trying to figure out timelines and stuff, and I'm pretty sure, and I think there's one more in there too that I sent out that I don't know if anybody responded to, or but I definitely sent it out. I'm not sure. You have to look on the phone. A friend of mine.
And you haven't gone back to look to see?
I did. I'm nervous right now, and I'm not really sure. I don't think they responded to it, so I'm not sure. I have 5 friends that we kind of like just goof around and text each other.
So did you text the one friend or the 5 friends?
I didn't text 5 friends. I remember texting I believe it was my brother about the Dana White issue, and I remember texting my stepfather about the water bottles he collects. He collects spring water. He drinks spring water, and we just started doing that. We go that day. We went down and got spring water, and I was talking about how the shelf life of water.
And you texted him that night too?
That early morning.
Yeah, the 3-ish or whatever.
Monday early morning.
Yes.
No, it wasn't 3. It was I said it was more like
anytime from midnight to 3-ish.
When you see the times, he might have responded at 8 o'clock, and I texted him at 3. I would have to see my phone to tell you.
Okay.
But there was definitely correspondence going on while I'm trying to fall asleep at night.
Any social media posts?
You'd have to check. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But at some point in the morning, I fell back asleep. I did get back to sleep, and I didn't wake up until late into the morning. And the first thing I did was, because I knew we had to go to this, we'd been invited to a party, was I said, hey, we still going to the party? And she didn't respond.
And where was that party?
I don't know him. She just barely knows him. It's on there. I talked to him, actually, because I gave him, they were like, who is this guy? And I found out who he was, and they called him, and I texted him, and I asked him, maybe she went over there.
You texted her from your phone?
I'm not sure. No, I think it was hers, because it was through her. It was her phone. Because I wouldn't have it on my phone. I don't even know this guy. And I asked him, hey, is Emily over there? Maybe she went over there without me. Maybe I slept too late. And she just said, whatever. No, I'm not going to get him up. I'm just going to go without him. And he said that he hadn't heard from her all day.
About what time was that?
11, 12, 11, maybe close to 12.
When you texted him?
No, I don't know. One night, maybe a couple hours after that, hour after that. I would hate to lie, not say.
Okay.
I don't know.
So then, in your words, you got up like around 11ish.
I would say closer to 12. Because if I could remember correctly, and I got up and I walked around and she wasn't there, and I'm like, okay, she's out doing her thing, and I went back to my couch and just kind of hung over from the night before, and the next thing I did was text her again at I think 3. I think it was like 3 hours later, and I'm like, I guess we're not going to the party. Where are you? I didn't ask her that, but I was like, I guess we're not going to the party. And that was the last thing I texted her. Got up again, and then I looked. There's her car. There's her purse. There's her phone. Things started. This is not right.
Where was her phone when you found it?
On her end table.
Is that normally where it is?
Well, no. I mean, yes, sometimes. If she's lying there, that's where it is.
Does she generally sleep in the bed?
Like I said, sometimes she sleeps
right
on the floor. She's just been recently doing that.
Well, what I'm saying is, when she sleeps in bed, is her phone on the end table next to the bed?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when she sleeps on the floor, where does she put her phone?
Yeah, the phone's with her most of the time. So.
Okay.
As far as I mean.
Does she always have her phone with her?
She always has her phone with her, and the only time she doesn't, and I'd said this when the first guy that came over, she goes out for these forage things, and she does this route, and he was like, does she ever go out at night, by herself? And I'm like, no, she doesn't. There's something that, but she does. At times, now that I think of it, especially if she's got a little buzz and she's drinking, she'll get that, and she'll grab a flashlight, and she'll go on this, and she comes back with the forage, and she shows him.
Let me rewind real quick. I got a question. So between 11 and 3, what were you doing? Were you just laying there on the couch?
11 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. It was It was lying in my son's room.
Okay.
Kind of just chilling, recovering, waiting for her.
Did you ever go to the bathroom at any point? Did you get a drink?
I don't. Yeah, there was periods where I definitely got up.
Okay. And you didn't notice she was gone? Or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. That the first time when I texted her and said, "Are we going to this party?" and she didn't get back to me, I checked the Find My phone, and the phone said that she was there. So I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? At some point that happened. So it just didn't, okay, she's doing her thing, she's going to come in and get me when we're ready to go, or whatever. At some point, she didn't come in and get me. I got up, went out there, between 11 and 3 at some point. It still wasn't a big concern. I wasn't freaked out. I kind of went around a little bit, and the first thing I did was look to see if her car was there, because she could have took off.
Mm-hmm.
That would have made sense that she left. But her car was there, so okay, she's doing something. She's just out and about. I texted her again at 3. I'm pretty sure that's the time. You guys can check the.
And in between those 2 times, you texted the gentleman in.
No,
that happened.
I didn't get concerned until the second time I texted her and said, "Hey, I guess we're not going."
Okay. So you texted him after 3 p.m.
And that was at 3. It could have been 3:40. Could have been 3:15.
Okay.
Then after that text, that's when I got up. So I didn't even know her phone was still there because I texted it.
Mm-hmm.
So her sister made a group text that I didn't notice. And her sister says it was at 3:45,
mm-hmm.
and she says she responded to it.
At 3:45 p.m. on Monday?
Yes. Let me think. I'm getting this screwed up. Am I getting this screwed up? Maybe it was... No, it was 8:45 in the morning. That's what it was. It was 8, so while I'm sleeping.
So her sister... What's her sister's first name?
Her sister's name is Amy.
Okay. She said she sent a group text at 8:45 that morning?
To her and I. And from that, you can tell whether someone views it. And she said that we both viewed it at some point. I don't know when I did. She said that... I don't know if you can tell when they get viewed, but it was viewed. And I didn't...
Okay.
It wasn't me that viewed it with the phone. So to me, she was there at 8:45. Or 8 in the morning. Emily was there.
Okay.
That's my... And the guy across the street, John, said that he saw her at 10 or 10:30 or whatever.
No, that's incorrect. John has since backtracked.
Okay. All right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of up in the air. And he originally said like 8 to 9, and then he's now saying I can't. He's saying I can't
he
swear.
Can't swear to it.
And maybe not. Could have been Sunday.
So that makes it look bad for me, I
well,
guess.
It just makes it gray. Not to just. We're not going to put.
You guys want to look at any of my body? You want to look at anything at all? I'm here.
Well, let's just talk. And
I hope you guys know that I love my wife and I would never hurt her.
Well, that's kind of where I was going to go next. Because we've kind of beat this timeline down pretty good. So, you guys got married 2 years ago?
We got married August 28, August 28, 2018.
Gotcha.
Easy one to remember, right?
8/28/18. Okay.
And I had a son.
Tissues or anything? Drink of water? Okay. We know about him. We don't need to. We don't want to bring up bad memories, so let's try and focus on. Okay, because I don't.
They loved each other. It was horrible. Oh, schizophrenia is the worst thing that happened to anybody. I don't know where to go now. What do you want to know?
So, what years did you live out in Vegas?
I did 25 years out there. 93, 4. And I left to come out here to get my son. He was having trouble in school. And not trouble, he just couldn't learn very well out there. And they didn't have special education out there. And my dad said, come on out here and live with me, and we'll enroll him in Worthington, they have a special course for kids that aren't doing well, and so I moved out here, and that's when I was out here. I don't know what year that was. I'd be guessing. Yeah, it was just a few years ago. He was a freshman in high school, so he would have graduated this year, so it would have been 4 years ago. He was in 9th grade, and Emily and I met via the internet, and we started dating, and it lasted like I don't know, a year. My son didn't make it in the school he was going to, and I ended up having to move out of the house in my dad's home. I was living with my dad, and I ended up in a place I can afford because I was working at the casino in here in town, which is a real crappy casino. I don't really make a lot of money.
Yes.
I can only afford to.
Vegas, big difference from Vegas.
I was making really good money out there, and so I moved to the continent, and I just wasn't making enough money. So, and Emily and I weren't like living together type relationship. So I took off. I said I got to go back to Vegas and try to get my job back. And I went back there, and my son got sick, and I'd still been in contact with Emily, and I'm like, Emily, Joey's sick, like sick. He's got, and I don't have any insurance because I quit my job, and when I moved back to Vegas, they didn't give you insurance. It was a long process because of that Obamacare, so I didn't have any insurance to take care of my kid that had caught schizophrenia. We didn't know it was schizophrenia then, but he was sick. And she said, "Look, come on back here and marry me. Come on back here and marry me. We'll get him in Westerville." So I moved back probably in July. We got married in August. We enrolled him in school.
Okay.
And that's how things went, and things were really, really super great.
And things were great with you and Em?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She saved my life.
Now, we all have some issues with our wives. He and I have both been married once before and divorced, okay? We all know how marriages are, so there's ups and downs. What were the downs?
I lost my sex drive after my kid died, sort of, and there was an issue with that.
Okay.
There was never any. She really was really great with the house. She was really meticulous, and I liked it. She reminded me of my mother when it came to taking care of a home, and so she would tell me to wash this and do that, and I really dug it. And it was, we would bicker about. She had issues, but I don't even know I should really. I mean, just like any girl,
Just
all
throw it
girls,
out there.
It's important. I mean, if we need to know.
And so she would get like angry, and but I mean
But between you guys.
not anything like crazy angry.
Okay. But between you two, what were the issues that you guys had? We all have issues with our
I would
spouse.
try to get her to get help for that anger was coming from, and she would kind of, and it was a thing. I'm like, I'm paying for something that he did to you, sort of thing, and it was. So we would bicker about that. She would get mad about me leaving dishes in the sink, little things like that, but nothing that would last. I'd been in a relationship with women in Vegas that they would destroy everything in the house. You know, like it was. She's not. We were never like that. We were super laid back people.
So you guys were good. You were 100% strong.
It wasn't 100%, but it wasn't anything where I would ever harm my wife.
That's not what I'm asking. That's not. I'm saying,
No.
How was your relationship? How was your marriage doing?
Not any worse than anybody else's.
Just to make sure I have it right. Did her sister?
Can I tell you that? I don't want to get anybody in trouble. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I just gotta make sure. I don't.
I don't want to get anybody. I would never testify in court
Right.
or whatever.
Just what you know.
She didn't.
Your understanding.
But I'm just trying. I never met Em, so I just wanted, because you said that a lot of her anger stemmed from that.
Yeah, all of it.
And he and I have done crimes involving juveniles.
We spoke about that.
You
forever.
know about it then. You know that women, when they get older, they get angry, and I knew it, and I tried to help her, and like a week before this happened, she literally started to open up. She's like, I wish my parents knew about what happened to me before they died. You know what I mean? And I'm like, why is that? And she's like, well, I think I could have been a better person. I'm like, that's so great for you to feel it. Admit that to yourself. You have a problem, and you can work on it now. But it wasn't like that was that. I don't know if you can even understand it, can you?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah, man, absolutely. Maybe we can get him to apologize to you or whatever you need to do. But now that you understand that you sometimes get crabby because...
So scale of 1 to 10, relationship with her, 10 being bliss, everyday honeymoon, like a honeymoon, and 1 being
Did you read our text?
Can't stand each other. I'm just asking, what would you rate it?
It would fluctuate like a sine wave, but we were on since 6 months. It was an 8.
Last 6 months?
Absolutely. Did you read our text?
Well, we haven't gone through everything. There's a
There
massive
might
amount
be some
of
old text where we
information
were
on
like, whatever, but it was after my son died. There was tension,
stress.
She dealt with it differently than I did, and so there was things that were said back and forth. But the whole Corona thing really, we became really super. She's like, and we're like, yeah, we need each other. Let's do this thing, guys. I did not hurt my wife. I did not hurt my wife. I loved her.
Okay.
I don't know. I would speculate to say that she might have hurt herself. But if she did, you would have found her by now. She would have went down somewhere close and done it. Was there times when she would kind of say, you know, I'm not afraid to die, this thing? Yeah. I mean, don't they all kind of be like that, you know, sort of? Nothing that I would ever call anybody, be like, my wife's going to hurt herself. Nothing.
Now, why would you think she would hurt herself? I mean, possibility.
Because she was not that she ever would. I'm just saying she was emotional. She would get emotional. She was very an emotional person, and she would say things like. And then when Joseph died, it was like this thing where she would be like, well, if I would do it if I needed to do it, you know, or shit like that. You'd be like, whoa, you know.
So I mean, like I said, we don't throwing out any idea of what could have happened. I mean, we're open to every scenario. Okay, we're not ruling any scenario out. Okay, but if you ask me if I had to bet, I feel like there was some foul play involved. I agree with you. I think that if she had committed suicide, we would have found her by now. I think that while she could have had some type of episode and lost her memory, that does happen. It's extremely rare. I would think it's very odd that she would leave voluntarily, leave all of her possessions, items behind, not go to work, not touch a bank account, not take her credit card. So it's a possibility. Absolutely. It's happened before, but very unlikely. Or is she involuntarily missing? And to me, the way it points to, and in most cases that have this type of scenario and facts are laying out to us, that's what I'm kind of honing in on. So my question is, what happened to her? And we know that you were the last person to see her. That's what we know, definitively. So that's why we're here talking to you. It's nothing personal.
Is there anything I can do to make it so you guys don't think that?
Well, you're here talking to us. That's a good step.
Is there a polygraph test? Is there anything you need?
No, hold on. Was she doing any drugs?
That night, no. She smoked pot occasionally, and she would do a Klonopin.
Which was
as prescribed? Far as in drugs like cocaine, heroin, heavy pills, methamphetamine. It's no, absolutely not.
Okay, now. Same to you. Aside, when you talked about the pot being in the house, and I told you I don't give a shit.
Thank you.
Have you done any other drugs?
No. The pot doesn't. I don't even really smoke weed. I smoke weed very rarely.
Any self-medicating with anything else?
No,
mushrooms?
I do. There were mushrooms occasionally around, but it was very rare. It'd be twice a year type of thing. I'm on a sleep aid and a relaxant Valium. It's not Valium though, it's a derivative of some sort of Valium.
And those are prescribed?
And they're prescribed by a nurse practitioner named
Valium derivative and a sleep aid, mushrooms twice a year, a little bit of pot.
About the same, twice a year. I mean, I don't really like it.
Is there anything else? Any other prescribed?
No.
Any illegal prescription drugs that you were taking?
No.
And again, I don't care.
I would tell you. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
I didn't do this. I want you guys to believe me. I would never be like, okay, well, I do, like what are they, Xanax, and I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, it's not going to happen. I'll take a blood test. You want to take a blood test? Dude, if it's foul play, then she's out there right now, and someone is, I mean.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Would it surprise you if I said that she didn't seem to be as happy as you were led to believe?
Of course.
It would surprise you?
It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise
She was sadder than I thought she was.
As far as your relationship?
No, she loved me. I would be very surprised if there was like another man.
No, well, I'm not saying that, but literally 2 weeks ago, there was one person that she kind of confided in through text messages and so forth.
Said something that.
And she said that she said Matt picked another fight with me last night. This was 2 weeks ago. And then they kind of go on and talk about it a little bit. Early May, so we're talking this month. Matt and I are talking and friendly, but it's not the kind of relationship I want. In April, a month ago, please don't talk about Matt and I in love. She said, same day, he hasn't been the same since Joey, which I understand. That's not a criticism. I could completely get that. We'd certainly change it.
I'm not at all taking it as an
And at the same time, she said, I think Matt is mentally ill. And then same day, we aren't talking. Reference your relationship, we're not talking. This was a month ago. She said, we're not talking. And she said, I don't want to talk about him. I would rather focus on the future. By the way, Matt got really drunk last night. This was February. By the way, Matt got really drunk last night and said some things I don't think he can take back. I'm fine. I'm pretty sure we are not going to stay together. What do you mean by that?
I mean, we would argue about things that I didn't think that it was at that level.
What was it that you said that she was mad that you couldn't? Okay.
And she focused on one thing here. Matt picked a fight. Again, this is April. This is barely a month ago.
She would accuse me of picking fights.
Okay, but this was a month ago. Okay, and this is heavy. Matt picked a fight with me yesterday and said some awful things. I'm not wearing my wedding ring. And that doesn't sound like somebody who's in a happy relationship. If I find out my wife texted that to somebody a month ago.
I get it. I'm not going to say that those things. Of course, there was a roller coaster relationship, but it wasn't like anything that you would think that someone would hurt someone over. It just would.
I'm not. I'm just addressing the fact that you just told me that the last 6 months have been bliss and an 8.
Yes.
Okay.
There have been levels of that,
okay.
And you can check the other texts, and they are super. I love you. I'm going to see.
I saw that.
There
it's very much a up and down bipolar type of relationship.
That would go away. That would really go away. It would last for a night.
Will you acknowledge that that's some pretty heavy shit when your wife says, "I took off my wedding ring. I don't think we're going to stay together."
It's not as heavy as you think it is.
You don't think that's.
You might think it is, but it's not. She would be like that at times because of her anger issues. It always swung back. We were always. It wasn't.
Well, why would you have said that whenever they asked how your relationship? I mean,
I didn't even remember that because it's not in my mindset. The good times have been so good.
Okay, but
you guys are really gonna try to.
I'm not trying to do anything. I'm reading your wife's words.
That's her fault.
She would get mad.
Just let me finish here. I understand that. I understand that. Just let me. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying when you come in and say we had a great relationship, told Officer Hollis, we had a great marriage, no problems whatsoever, and then I read this. It's going back 6 months. And you text her on New Year's Eve and say, if you want a divorce and you want me to move out, fine. I mean, these are all things I just printed off, which have they aren't the usual fight, like, I'm pissed at you, fuck off, I don't want to talk to you tonight, just leave me alone. It's go golfing because I don't want to see you right now, I want to be alone. That's,
Well,
will you admit that that's pretty,
it's not as heavy as you think it is. From looking at it from the outside, I can see why someone would think that. But it's not. It's just the level of anger from, I'm not going to say it's her fault. I have my issues with my son. I would get angry too. We would fall back in love the next day. It was just the thing that we would do. And it wasn't, and when you say, hey, how was the last 6 months? The last 6 months have been really nice, man. I mean, was there a time that we had a night where I said some bad things and she took her wedding ring off? How long ago was that? I mean,
A month ago.
I mean, it happened, but I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't know how to explain to you.
Do you remember that happening though?
I remember her. I think taking her wedding ring off, but it didn't last. But this thing has been on forever.
When was the last argument you and her got into? Screaming match?
There was never really a screaming match. It was more of just.
When was the last argument / loud conversation?
I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell you. I would be guessing.
Because your neighbors are out there saying it was in the last 2 weeks. Would that be correct?
I don't know. And there's the screaming. We were screaming at each other. I have neighbors saying that we were screaming at each other.
Yes, sir.
That they could hear. I don't know. We weren't. There might have been a loud, whatever.
Loud disagreement?
But we weren't violent. We weren't screaming like at each other, like throwing things around. It just wasn't happening. It's not the type of relationship we had. We would get mad at each other because we had issues, but they weren't even close to being like. She was saying that to her friend. I mean, that's surprising to me because I wasn't like, I mean, at times you would say, I don't want to be married to you anymore. But it doesn't go down the lines that I'm sitting in a police station right now being like you're going after me.
We just have to make sure we know the whole story.
Then trust me, as a man to man, that what was going on there was nothing there was nothing to be worried about. There wasn't anything.
So, can I change course? Yeah. So, it was Officer Hollis. I keep wanting to think it's Sereno, but it was Officer Hollis came out on Monday to take the report, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, and her phone wasn't seized or anything else like that. Were you posting stuff on Facebook from her account using her phone?
I don't know, maybe. I knew her passcode. It was my son's old phone. I could have went on there and posted something. I think I didn't have any of her friends' phone numbers, I think, so I think I was maybe making contact. I'm guessing that I was making some sort of contacts with friends of hers. Are you saying when I was looking for her?
Like after she was reported missing? And
I'm sure I did use her phone to contact friends of hers.
Okay.
Did you post something to her Facebook account, to her friends on Facebook, like, hey, she's missing?
I didn't until later on when it was told to me that it was as serious as it was. It wasn't like, it was after you guys showed up.
I just need to know if you did it. And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know.
Matt, this was 2 days ago.
I know.
And you can't remember if you
which
were
phone I used
on her phone. Did you get on her?
Facebook.
Did you think to yourself, and this would make perfect sense, to say, look, I don't know her friends, which we know. So I'm going to get on it. And you made the comment, I would like to post things to her account. That's why you wanted her phone back. So it's been through your mind. It would make perfect sense. I'm going to go on her Facebook account and post, hey, has anyone seen Emily? This is her husband. I can't find her.
I must have. I can't recall, but I must have.
You don't remember that? It was 2 days ago.
I don't know if it was me that got on. I must have. I had to.
Was someone else using her phone?
No.
So the phone stayed at the house the whole time? You didn't hand it out to a cousin or walking down the street, some Joe stranger or anything else like that? Okay. So if anything was posted on her account, have you ever accessed her Facebook from your phone?
I can't. So I've never done it. I can't access. I've tried to post stuff onto her page from my phone, but it doesn't
But you can't get in as her on her Facebook.
I can do it from her phone. I can do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Just get on her phone, go to Facebook, and
okay.
I'm sure I did. I can't say I definitively did, but I'm sure I got on Facebook. Hey, I did, didn't I? I did. You guys know. I went on and say, hey, this is Matt. I'm Emily's husband. She's missing. I must have. I had to have. I just don't recall right now if I did. But I'm pretty. That would be the move to make, right? I mean,
just because we ask you a question, it doesn't mean that we're going at.
It's not a trick question.
I know. You're right, and I'm just trying to tell you that if I don't, like, in my head picture it, I don't want to say I did it. But I mean, it would be the move to make. I mean, yeah, I must have.
Okay.
I've been using my phone, her phone, my phone, her phone for the last, this is Wednesday now? I don't even know what day it is anymore. I mean, I've been using 2 phones, so it's looking at her friends.
But you can't post from yours, so if you post into her Facebook account, it has to be through her phone.
It has to be through her phone, there's no doubt about it.
Did you use her phone for any other purpose?
Like what?
Did you text a few friends? You text some friends of hers, or any contacts?
I'm sure I did. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I had to have, because I don't have a lot of her friends' phone numbers and stuff. So yeah, that's why when I gave the phone to you guys, I was like, I need that phone back to contact people.
And do you think, did you make, I know you say you don't remember, but did you make a couple posts on her Facebook account? Did you make 1? Did you make 5?
I mean, I don't know.
Do you remember what you wrote?
At some point I started, that's right, when you guys took the phone, that's when I started posting from my phone. I'm going to say everything prior to that was probably from her phone. I don't know why I would post, I can't.
Was anything deleted then? Was anything from her, did you delete the post on her Facebook account?
I didn't delete anything.
Because they're not up there.
What?
The posts.
There's no posts.
Correct.
That I made from her phone saying that she's missing. Because I didn't make any before the phone was taken from me. That's what that means. Because it wasn't like, hey, I'm guessing. Again, I'm guessing. At some point I started making posts on Facebook saying my wife's missing. Whether it was prior to you guys taking the phone from me or after, I don't know. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't.
There's not, but you just said it was me. Yeah, I did. I did, because I was posting. Yeah, I did.
I must
have. Didn't know her friends. So then my question is, those posts aren't there anymore. So did you delete them?
No.
Then why aren't
then
they
I didn't. Then I didn't post them. I'm not trying to play games, man. Give me my phones. I'll figure them out for you.
What if I told you that someone had contacted us and said that you had posted a couple posts and now they're deleted?
I don't know what they're saying.
Saying, hey, this is Matt.
Why would I do that?
That's what I'm asking.
That doesn't make sense.
Because nobody else could have done it.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about that. I would make posts, say, hey, my wife is missing, and then I would erase them. I'm getting...
Hold on, it's all good.
This is consensual still, right?
Yes.
Did she have any conversations on her phone that you had gone through and deleted?
No. Absolutely not. Not my business, wouldn't do it.
Did you go through and read any of
her
messages?
Because you said you'd gone through it when we were out there, which I understand. You went through it to see if her phone. You'd said to us we were out there. I've gone through her phone.
I went through like a timeline of trying to figure out like who was contacting her and if she had contacted anybody. The only thing I noticed was her sister made a group text to her and I. Other than that, I didn't notice anything else. I didn't hurt this woman. She's my wife. I love her. My time thing is weird. I had lots of phone things. I'm not very savvy with all of it.
Without getting angry at me?
I'm not getting angry at you. I'm just very upset.
Okay, without getting frustrated. Can you look at it through our eyes and what we have to do? And when we see inconsistencies in what you've told us, and I'm not saying you're lying, but we have to try and iron those out.
Then I need to stop making statements because I told you at the beginning of this that I have issues with time frames.
Okay.
I knew I was going to have issues. I'm not lying to you.
Have we yelled at you? We haven't yelled at you.
You're saying, why would you say this if it was this? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And that's fair. Okay, you don't know. You don't know. Fair.
I'm being completely honest with you. I mean, I'm not going to make...
We're not browbeating you or anything like that. We're just trying to figure everything out that happened in the last 3 days. Everything. Every minute and everything that was done.
We are doing our duty, which we want to find your wife.
You got my phone. You got her phone. Do your thing. Go through it.
Was Emily into rough sex?
She liked sex. Was it rough? I mean, not really. Not like, no. She was normal. It was normal. It was
no bondage or anything rough?
Absolutely not. Not like balls and chains and all that shit. No. Our sex life was normal, Scooby, and it didn't happen a lot.
Well, everyone's version of normal is a little different. Again, I don't care either way. I just need to make sure. Was there ever times where she wanted like her arms pinned down?
Sure, there was a little of that, not a lot of that.
Okay.
Nothing. I'm not a sexual deviant when it comes to like.
That's perfectly legal.
Dude,
That's perfectly legal.
Yeah, sometimes I would, when we'd kiss, my teeth would bang on her, like, whatever. Sometimes. But we're normal people, man. We're normal people.
Did she like to be choked?
Did she like to be choked? No, but I mean, not to the point where she couldn't breathe or like really hardcore like that. Nothing like that. No.
Was there any
Did
choking?
Did you find her?
Was there any choking that went on?
No. We have not lied to you. And again, that's perfectly legal. Two consenting adults who are into some asphyxiation.
I know what I can do. I know I'm a good person.
Okay.
I know I would never hurt anybody. I know.
Steve and I have done the crime.
We've had sex. Emily and I have had sex probably 5 times in the last year because I'm really super sad about my son. Sex became an issue. We just didn't really have it. We had sex for the first time on her birthday because it was her birthday, and it didn't really work out. So it wasn't really the greatest sex in the world. Because I'm not.
I understand that. So, honestly,
was I choking her that night?
No, that's not what we asked. We said, did you guys ever engage in any kind of choking or asphyxiation during sex at any time?
I'm sorry. Am I being defensive?
I'm not trying to accuse you.
No, I've never really.
Voluntarily, have you guys ever engaged in any asphyxiation or choking during sex?
No. I would
no
say
hands
not.
No hands on the throat or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it would go like, hey, what's up? But it would never be anything to where it would be like, something I would keep her from breathing.
So that's not like something like a fetish for either one of you? Okay, and some people are into that. And again, perfectly legal. Perfectly legal.
I know it's legal, man.
All right.
I just had concerns because talking with one of her friends, there was a time within the last year where she had bruises on her. And this friend, hold on. Don't eye roll yet.
I know.
Let me get it out. Where the friend was concerned that you were being physically abusive towards her.
It never happened.
Let him finish.
Hold on. Okay. M then told her that no, that's not the case. It was rough sex. Which, again, completely legal.
Well, there you go. It wasn't rough. It was just rough sex.
And she said something about not really enjoying the choking aspect that went with it. So was something like that, was that your idea, her idea?
She's small. She told a girlfriend of hers that I choked her and she didn't like it. And is this what you're saying?
No, I just asked, listen to the question.
I have no idea.
Was it your idea or hers?
No, I have no idea if it happened, if it was my idea or not. I have no recollection of.
But you just talked about your hands had been at her neck, kind of like, hey, what's up?
I mean, we've been married for 2 years, guys. I mean, I don't know where you're going with this. I've never hurt her.
That's not what we asked.
Like, during sex, can I remember a time where I was like, oh my God, I want to choke her, and this is really great thing I'm doing, and she was like, okay, it's fine, and then later on she said something to a girlfriend? I have no idea.
Was that my question?
I guess I'm sorry, I'm being defensive. I'm worried. Look at me.
Well, then help us find her, okay?
Yeah.
We are on the same team right now.
What does this have to do with finding my wife?
Because we have to. When I have people calling in concerned about it today, I have to ask these questions. Yeah. That's my job, is to ask questions.
You had people call in and say that they were concerned. Some random person that you don't even know. Yes, Sue. Yeah, she's a real great one.
Okay,
but I'm telling you that clearly you know Suzanne.
Yeah, of course, yeah. She's not to be someone you should be listening to.
But
did you talk to her? It only takes 5 seconds to know she's full of shit.
Well, all I asked was a question.
Okay, ask me again, and I'll try to answer it the best I can. I'll try. I'm sorry.
When you guys were having sex.
At what point? At a particular time? Can you tell me a particular time we were having sex? Was it a year ago? Last week?
Any time when your penis has been in Emily, have your hands been around her neck?
I think both of them.
A hand.
Maybe a hand.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
And I'm not judging either way. Is that your thing or Emily's thing?
Both of ours.
Okay.
I would think. You know, if she ever told me to stop, I would stop.
Good.
If
That's what I wanted to hear.
Right, yeah.
See,
I'm not. Yeah.
Just because I ask a question doesn't mean that I'm attacking you.
I'm
It's just a question. I promise you. Okay.
I don't understand why that would help you find where she is right now. I don't get that. It seems like you're trying to pin something on me or something.
I'm not trying to pin anything.
I don't feel comfortable.
Would you pass a lie detector test?
Absolutely. I would want to talk to a lawyer, though. I mean, ask a lawyer.
Ask him what?
If it's, should I take one? I didn't even know if they work.
Well, the bottom line is we're here trying to find your wife.
Right.
And right now...
You want to do it now? You want to do a lie detector right now?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You do it?
You got it.
All right, I'll go grab it.
Good.
Okay.
And since you asked, if you're telling me, can I just see your stomach and just make sure there's no scratches or anything on you? Okay, turn around for me. And okay, hold on a second. Just turn around here. All right. I think this is the indentation of the chair and stuff like that. I don't see your scratches.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not accusing you.
Take
No,
some
that's okay.
pictures?
No, that's okay. I feel good. I just want to see you got some sun like me. You see my big bald head. I got some sun. Thank you. And again, you know, anything that will help you, we want too. Okay, relax. Sit down. Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
And I want you to, I know it's a hard thing to ask, but try and pull yourself back from the emotion here and understand why we ask these questions. Okay? We're not accusing you. You're not under arrest. Okay? We're not yelling at you. We haven't raised our voice.
This is just your procedure to try to find the truth.
Yeah, and like I explained to you,
Right.
look at through my eyes. You were the last person to see her that we know of. Okay?
Not good.
I feel like there was some foul play, so we have to go through everything between you two. I mean, you ask
If
anybody,
I pass this lie detector test, are you going to go back? Am I going to be off the list? Can you go try to find?
it will certainly
whatever
help you. Yeah, it will certainly help
Can
you.
you-
Now, nothing is conclusive, but it certainly helps. It's a tool. It's a tool that we use. But can you understand? Hold on, just look at me for a second. Just look at me for a second. No, hold on, just let me finish though. I'm not. You know, when we start to look at things, and I'm sure your dad said he told you. Okay, when you have a missing wife, who's the first person you look at, especially under unusual circumstances? Okay, we're not running in, we're not grabbing you and arresting you, we're not browbeating you, we're not accusing you. So we start to look at that person. What was their relationship?
What's the throat
like?
thing have to do with anything, man?
What's the relationship like? And when you say everything's good, and we start to find things that kind of contradict that, we're going to ask you about it. Doesn't mean you're a liar. Doesn't mean you killed her.
You do know that I have a problem with time.
I understand, but just hold on. Let me finish. I want to lay out this whole thing out so you can understand. When we see inconsistencies, okay, and these to me are inconsistent. Those are pretty heavy to me, but you say they're not. Okay, but can you blame me for asking you about them?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
And that's all I did.
But
that's all I did.
I just hope you guys look at the really good things that are in those texts.
Those aren't going to help us find her. Okay.
Neither are these.
Okay, but do you
How's that
understand?
gonna-
Because
how's
we
that gonna
have
help
to
you?
look at the last person saw her, and
Yeah,
a
but
lot
the
of
last
times
person-
when spouses are killed, who statistically is the first person? Ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, boyfriend, husband. So it's natural for us to have to talk to you, look through everything with you, ask you about any inconsistencies or things that don't make sense, and move on. And if everything comes out okay and there's nothing there, then we move on. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
These look at the good things, man.
And here's why
you guys are smart.
Hold on.
You've been through these
Hold
things
on, just
before. I don't
let
have a
me-
history.
Okay. We're not trying to trick you. Everything's been a pretty straight open question.
What's with the next thing?
Okay, and here's the reason. When someone says, and this is for her, and we don't know her, and we don't know you, and you say she's a liar and a psycho and things like that. But when hold on, let me finish. When a friend of hers calls up and says, hey, there was a scenario where there was some bruises on her, and I asked her if maybe he was being abusive. She said, no, it's not abusive. However, there's some rough sex sometimes, perfectly legal, and I'm not into the choking. Okay, that's what she said. So what do you think our thought could be? That something could go wrong and could have been consensual. Have you ever seen on TV where that's happened before? Have you ever seen stories? But I'm just asking you a question. Have you ever
You're
seen...
accusing me of...
I'm not accusing you.
All right,
but
well,
can you understand...
It didn't happen.
But can you understand why we would ask?
Well, okay.
Can you
And
understand?
ask, and I'm done with it. 'Cause
Okay.
It didn't happen. So
Okay.
Hit me up with a...
But-
did I hook me up with a...
See,
lie?
you get angry with me. I'm just saying...
I'm not angry. I
Okay.
just...
Can you understand why we
Yes,
would ask about
I
it?
do understand.
Okay. Because you even said you engaged in sex that night. So our thought is it possible that something went wrong, it was an accident, he freaked? That has happened before with people. It's pretty rare, but that has happened in these
You
situations.
get that feeling by looking at me right now
That's-
that I did that? Look at me.
All we did was ask you about it. Okay?
Which
I don't
was-
know.
you can't
know
tell
why
right
not?
now.
Because I don't know you.
You don't.
I
You
don't
can't
know
tell
you.
me by looking at me and my demeanor and the way my house is and the way my texts are reading with my wife. You telling me that you can't tell that I didn't do that to her. You can't.
I don't know anything right now.
Right.
Okay? I'm not calling you a liar.
I mean,
And I appreciate your cooperation, and I'm glad you're going to take the CVSA. It's extremely accurate.
is it?
If you're telling the truth, it will show that. If you are lying, it will show that. I promise you. I promise you.
Absolutely.
This is not a polygraph where you get locked. This is 10 times more accurate than a
Cool.
polygraph.
Right
Okay?
on.
All right. I'm just trying to explain to you, and so you're not.
It just seems strange that you would ask questions like that about her sex life.
But I just
But
explained to
get
you
it.
why.
I get it. I get it.
And something we have to cover. Okay? All right.
Yeah. Maybe you should look into the accuser. That's what her deal is about. You know what I mean? Whether she's credible.
Well, she didn't
Who
accuse.
knows what kind of?
Okay, but now let me ask you a question.
I don't
In a
know.
situation like this, where we did a tremendous amount of work all day. Steve was in here at 3:00 in the morning or 3:30.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We have all been working, multiple of us, on your wife's case all day. All right. Do you want us to take time to investigate some woman who called in?
No.
Okay, that would be a huge waste of time. Or do we just want to ask you about it? Okay, did you guys do this? Was it routine?
I got you.
Is it
I
possible?
apologize.
Did that happen?
I
You say,
apologize.
yes, we did. No, it did not happen.
I
It did not
apologize.
happen. So,
You're
okay.
right. I
But
apologize.
to get mad of why we would ask doesn't do us any good.
You're right.
Okay. We wouldn't be doing our jobs.
I'm sorry.
We wouldn't be doing our jobs.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
And
You don't
I
have to
wish-
apologize. I
wish
understand
there was
you're
something
frustrated.
I could tell you to
Okay.
help you with this.
You are helping us by being here and talking to us and answering all our questions. It is hot as hell in here.
Can we
You want a
do
drink or
this
something?
polygraph somewhere nice and
You want a drink of water?
He's so hot.
You want a cup of water?
Yeah, that would be great.
Great?
I mean,
Okay. All right.
that would be great.
Wait till he gets back here. We'll get some little air in here.
Please. Thank you.
You think we could afford some air conditioning in here?
My AC broke down in Vegas in the middle of summer. I had money. I was just cheap. And
You good?
Oh, I thought you were calling me.
No, I'm just getting some air.
Oh, sorry.
Nope.
All right.
Just it's 90 degrees in here.
It was.
You want water?
I mean, if you get,
Yeah, we'll water thing
Can I
around.
come out there and get it with you?
We'll have your waiter here. Okay, just the COVID thing. They don't want anybody
Just-
wandering around. I know it sounds crazy, but they don't. I'll bring that. You don't know you need some water. Just use the restroom or anything?
No, sir.
Okay, there's one in the lobby you can use if you need to.
All right.
This is not a trick question, but let me ask you: what if you had to guess? What do you think happened to her? With all that we know now, and do you think she was abducted? Do you think she was out for a walk and somebody hurt her? Or do you think she medical? Or do you think she left on her own?
She
like Gone Girl?
She had made comments before that she wouldn't be afraid to kill herself, but it wasn't like anything that made me. She just had, when she would drink, sometimes she would get this thing about her. It was just.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, we've had people take their lives, and we don't, their bodies aren't recovered, depending on how bad they want to be. I don't
think she would ever want to hide herself if she did that.
Okay.
She was more of a. She would have. I think she would have known what it would have caused me if she did that. She wouldn't have wanted to cause me this kind of trouble.
Or let me ask you this: because of what happened with your son, do you think she would have thought it'd be better if I just disappear and he doesn't know what happened to me? Rather than have to deal with the...
We were recovering from my son fairly well.
Okay.
We were doing it differently, but I was crying a lot, where she wouldn't cry. She would just
kind of bottles it up.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I guess you'd call it, but she just wasn't as cryy like me.
Emotional. I'm actually.
Well, she's emotional. Just.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
You have a son?
I have 3 girls, and I am emotional. For a guy, I'm very emotional.
You start crying, man.
So
the love is just.
Yeah.
I am, man.
And my oldest daughter, I can relate to an extent. That can be tough.
If she did hurt herself, she would have done it, and right where we could have found her.
Yeah. But we're not playing any games. We're not trying to trick you.
I know.
I want you to understand.
Can you understand?
Yeah, I do. I understand you getting defensive, but
try to just.
That's why I wanted to explain to you. Do you understand why we ask you these things? They may seem irrelevant, but then when you start to look it through our eyes, we have to look at every possible scenario.
I apologize.
Okay.
For being like that. I just let's get this thing done.
All right.
We can get out there and do it.
All right. That's Trouble's present. Sheet up. I'm going to get out of here and move this.
I got your water?
Yeah.
You didn't even get enough for me?
A drink.
Alright, Matthew.
Yes, sir.
Matt, what do you know about truth verification tests?
I don't know anything about them except what you hear on TV about lie detector tests.
Well, what do you hear about that?
That
And I'm just trying to find out. There's no wrong answers.
I mean, from the 70s and 80s TV shows that they put stuff to you, and little squiggly lines or something. They can, like from that movie, Meet the Fockers.
Yeah.
That type of thing where he asks you a question. Hoping no, that's it. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't know anything about
Do you know what a CVSA is?
No.
Okay. It basically is one of the newest tools in law enforcement. I have been certified on this for over 8 years. I have achieved the master certification with it. Basically, it's a computerized voice stress analysis. Now, the biggest difference between that and a polygraph is polygraphs, they try to work you up to see how the body responds. They measure breathing, heart rate, blood pressure, sweating, all sorts of BS like that. Now, back in the day when I was trying to get hired on to be a police officer, some departments were still using polygraphs and some had transitioned into CVSAs. And I've had the privilege or curse, depending on how you look at it, of taking both of them. And honestly, the polygraph sucks a lot worse.
They don't work?
It's a lot longer of a test. You are sitting in a wooden chair where you're upright, hands down on it. You've got crap strapped to you. Like, I'm not a fan of any of that. Like having strap around your sternum and everything like that. It was not fun. I did not appreciate it, but I understand that's what they're certified in. I get it. CVSA is used by the federal government to the point that they now use it. The NSA, they use it for like terrorists when they have to interview them, because the CVSA does not, like, if someone has an accent, if someone is drunk, high, children can be used on it, where those are limitations that the polygraph, you cannot do it on those. It's a much easier machine. It's basically the opposite of a polygraph, where a polygraph, like, it wants to amp you up, like I said. CVSA, it's here to be as chill as possible. If I could bring in beer and pizza and do it that way, just to get guys to calm down, I would do it. I'm sure my chief would appreciate that going on in his station, but that it's to the point that there are no tricks, no surprises. Because honestly, you're going to know the questions before we even take the test.
I'm not afraid. If you wanna, if it works, it works.
So,
I'm pretty amped right now because I kind of got upset, I guess, for a minute.
That's fine.
Trying to
but I just want you to understand that the test itself, this is how confident I am in it. Where
I don't know why you'd want to get me in trouble for something I didn't do.
I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble if they didn't do something.
Let's do this.
So
I'll take, if you're let's do it.
Joe Public out there, when they hear the basic facts that she's missing, what's the first thing you think? Oh, cops better look at that husband. He's probably a piece of shit. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you know how it is. You hear people talk when they see stuff like that on the news. Like, oh, really? She's just up and so. We're just doing our due diligence.
I've got a lot of super supportive people too that are
good, and as you should. I'd be more concerned if you didn't have anyone that was supportive.
There's a ton of people that are on my phone. They're saying, "Hey, you're great. You're doing. Hang in there. We all love you. I got a great family."
And I would rather hear that than the opposite, where if you sat here like, "No one's reached out to me."
No, everybody's. I don't know how many people that I can introduce you to that that'll let you know that I love my wife and everything's fine, even though she said I'm gonna take my ring off. It just happens sometimes.
But we obviously have to start in home.
I apologize for getting upset, and I think that you want to figure this out, so let's figure this out
for Emily's sake. Period.
Yes, absolutely.
If
let's do it.
If an eagle came out of the sky and grabbed her, we have to
She's
look at
small.
everything. That's true. She is a tiny woman. All right. Well, of course, like with anything, I can't get some stuff.
Gotta sign something.
Yep. Your first name, Matheau.
It's surprising that you guys do this. I figured it would be some sort of.
The machine doesn't have a dog in the fight.
Mm-hmm.
All it does is reads the results and prints them out. And that's not something that you can change, I can change, anything else like that. So. Just this top section, because obviously you're over 18, so we don't need to worry about that. We don't have to go over it with mom and dad. It says, I, Mathew Moore, voluntarily, without coercion, duress, immunity, influence, promise, or reward, do hereby submit to examination by the computerized voice stress analysis, CVSA, truth verification technique, and do hereby absolve, release, and forever hold harmless the Westerville Division of Police And Detective S. Grubbs, 501, its servants, agents, and anyone acting in its behalf, from any and all claims, demands, or other damages from any act, matter, or thing arising out of aforesaid examination. I understand some form of audiovisual recording will be made of this examination, and I release into the possession of the Westerville Division of Police all recordings, materials, and other documentation related to this examination for the purpose of investigation, testimony, and/or training, or I release into the possession of Detective S. Grubbs with Westerville Police Department all recordings, materials, and other documentation as it relates to his investigation of report 20-12540. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Just need a signature right there, and if you can date it as well, please.
Today is 5/27
at 6:19 p.m. If you could write that next to the date for me.
6:19 p.m.
Okay. As I said, there are no tricks. I have not lied to you since I first went up to your house yesterday. I'm not going to start now. That's not how I operate. Truth is truth, lies are lies.
Who's that? Who's that guy?
Kyle Rohr.
That's the name of the judge?
Mm-hmm.
Judge Kyle Rohr.
Mm-hmm.
Delaware County Municipal Court.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I watched too much YouTube.
No, I'm telling you, that's a legit...
Hey, is that a real judge? It says, or that's a real judge?
No offense, but I don't want to commit a felony forgery in order to try to trap someone. You know what I'm saying?
I can keep this, right?
Yeah, totally. You can keep it, frame it, throw it away, whatever your little heart desires.
I believe her, too.
Touche. I'm spinning around.
Is there any way I can get my phone back today?
Probably not today.
If this all goes well or whatever?
I will get it back to you as soon as I can, because I understand that you need a phone. I'm not oblivious to it, so
Yeah.
just as long as the examiner needs to get it. And then, is there a alternate number I can reach out in case?
If I had my phone.
Do you want me to call Dad?
Yeah, but I don't know Dad's phone number. He has a landline. And I don't think it's on, but it should be. That's his landline. Other than that, there's...
Now, does he have a cell phone too?
Yeah, but I don't know that.
Is that number in your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he under Dad or Palmer?
He is
or?
under Dad.
It's okay. Is it cool with you if I look up his cell phone number from that?
Absolutely,
and call him from that in case he's not answering his landline? Because a lot of people anymore don't really...
All right, just look up Dad, D-A-D, and his phone number will be right there.
Okay.
And then you could...
And
and what do we need that for? I forget. What do we...
When I'm done with it, clearly I can't call your phone to let you know.
So
I will call him and we will coordinate
a time I can get my phone.
Absolutely. So, with this test, what are the issues that we need to try to figure out today?
What are we trying to figure out?
Yes.
Whether I've had anything to do with the disappearance of my wife.
Okay. And more specifically is whether you killed her, accidentally, purpose, whatever. The fact is if she is still breathing on this planet or not. Is that fair?
That is fair.
And on top of that is we need to also find out if you know where she is at the moment.
Okay.
Again, live, dead, well, whatever. You know, if she's hiding out in John Q. Public's basement just because you guys had a fight, you know, obviously we would need to know that.
Right.
So we just need to make sure that you say you don't know, we truly need to understand that fact as well.
Okay.
Fair?
Fair. And somehow this computer will let you know whether I'm lying or not.
Yeah. I don't like the fact that even though it's at 48% battery life.
Does it have anything to do with heart rate? Because
Nope. 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 So let me get all this situated, and then I will explain everything for you. Charging, here we go. Oops, sorry. So, there are questions that are obviously, relevant to what we're trying to get to the bottom of today. And I told you you're going to know these questions. There will be nothing that I'm going to ask that's a surprise or shock. Again, I want you to pass this test.
I know you do. I trust you.
And I can only, like you lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Okay.
I can only explain everything to somebody, and then at that point, it's up to them, if they want to try to deceive or be honest at that point. Now, what this machine does is, with the polygraph, how you've got all that crap strapped to you, and you're sitting, uncomfortably in the chair and everything. The only thing this uses is a microphone. And it just clips on your shirt, and that's it.
Okay.
Again, I want you as relaxed as possible. What the micro...
Okay.
What's up?
I just am just
Oh,
nervous.
Well, what this microphone does is when people talk, and this is science, when people talk, they have normal AM and FM levels in their voice. When the air goes through the vocal cords and comes out, there are certain scientific levels, AM and FM. And, I mean, you can Google it later on. I'm not going to blow smoke.
I want this to work, man.
Now, when you talk, obviously there are certain levels. When someone is stressed about something, like let's say that you robbed a bank, and I ask you, did you rob that bank? Well, what happens is your vocal cords tense up,
Okay.
and when it does that, those AM and FM levels will actually shift into a readable form that I can see on this computer.
Okay.
So, then at that point, if someone wants to still kind of continue to deceive at that point, obviously the stress stays there because, oh shit, he's asking me about robbing a bank, and I robbed that bank.
If I robbed a bank and you asked me, I wouldn't be able to get away with not telling you. But I could.
So,
I'm not that guy, man.
Yeah.
I'm not that dude.
But just as an example, just because it's so in left field,
Right.
that we need to do that. So
I'm not a good liar.
So all I ask is the truth. If there's anything that we need to talk about or clarify before the test, you say, hey, hold on, I just thought of this, and then throw it out there.
I just might not know something like before when I said the time. I mean, can I say I don't know if there's, about the time frames? I told you going into this, I knew that was going to be an issue because I just have.
And I told you I respect that.
Time frames.
I told you I respect that. So I will ask you the first question. If you get this wrong, I'm going to be really upset at you.
Okay.
Is your name Mathew Moore?
Yes.
Okay. See? You better be able to pass that. Fair?
Fair.
I'm going to ask you a couple questions where, and you're going to know which ones they are. I want you to intentionally lie to me.
Okay.
And the reason for that is I want to be able to see what your lies look like on the computer. So if you look around right now, you see how there are several outlets?
Yes.
There's another one actually behind this wall.
If you say so.
There is. Trust me, I've
1, 2, 3.
been here long enough. Regardless, there are probably way more outlets than need to be in a room this size. So I'm going to ask you, and this is where I want you to lie. I'm going to say, are there electrical outlets on the wall? And you would say?
No.
Okay, exactly. I will ask, are the lights on in this room?
No.
No, the electrical outlets are the only one I want you to lie about.
Sorry.
So, the only one I direct you to. So I'll say, are the lights on in this room?
So when you direct me to lie, I lie. When
Yes.
you don't direct me, you just ask me a question, I don't lie.
Tell me the truth unless I tell you to lie.
Okay, let's start again.
So, is your name Mathew Moore?
Yes.
Are there electrical outlets on the wall?
Yes.
The electrical outlets you're going to lie about.
Oh.
Remember?
Well, I mean, I thought you were going to say, like, lie about this.
Well, I'm telling you right now, from this point until the end of time, if I
It's
ask
the
you...
electrical outlets that I'm
Yes,
supposed to lie
you will
about.
lie every time.
And there's 1, 2, 3 here that are...
So,
okay.
is your name Mathew Moore?
Yes.
Are there electrical outlets on the wall?
No.
Good. Are the lights on in this room?
Yes.
Okay. I'll ask, do you know where Emily is?
No.
Okay. Today's date is May 27th. I'll ask you, is this the month of May?
Yes.
Okay. I'll ask you if you killed Emily.
No.
I'll ask if we are in the city of Westerville.
Yes.
And this is, remember the outlets where you had to lie? I got another lie for you. And this is a pretty safe one. Now, if you haven't done it, correct me.
Do you want me to lie right now?
For this next question.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty safe because we've all been there. Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Good. Because in real life, everyone that I've ever met at some point has gone 56 and a 55, 72 and a 70, stuff like that. But I want to see you lie. Good? You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to burp or something like that. Next one's an easy question. I'll ask you, am I wearing a shirt?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, just trying to backtrack. Am I wearing a shirt?
Yes.
Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Good. Are we in the city of Westerville?
Yes.
Did you kill Emily?
No.
Is this the month of May?
Yes.
Do you know where Emily is?
No.
Are the lights on in this room?
Yes.
Are there electrical outlets on the wall?
No.
And is your name Mathew Moore?
Yes.
So which two questions do you need to lie about?
The lights and the outlets. The
No.
outlets
Outlets?
and the drive.
Drive. Okay. So the first
Right.
one...
I gotcha. Sorry.
The first one being, is your name Mathew Moore? You would say yes.
Yes.
What are the two to lie about?
The outlets and that I've never driven over the speed limit
Right.
before.
That's correct. Now for this, I would recommend you probably might want to just scoot over just a little bit, because sometimes some people will bang into this and then it kind of throws any sort of reading off. I can't stand people who just put this back in. This is my OCD right here, where
That's right.
I like to have it wrapped up and nice and easy to get, and I work with animals. Oh, see, look at that. Look at that.
You would get along with my wife?
She
does not allow things like that. No, sir.
It's just next time I want to use it, I want to be able to use it cleanly and accurately. And what makes me really upset is I'm going to fix it when I'm done, and then the next person
That wasn't actually that bad.
is going to use it that way and probably wreck it again.
Light outlets and speed limit. I lie about.
The outlets
Speed limit. I lie about everything else.
So if you can just clip that to your shirt, probably you can go down a little bit. I'd say probably a little low. Well, just here, pinch your shirt a little bit. Right there. Now when I ask you the questions, I just want you to answer yes or no. Don't be like, well, there was the one time, I don't care about that. At this point where it's just a matter, it's a one-word answer, yes or no.
And the only one you want me to lie about is the outlets and the driving over the speed limit.
Correct.
Okay.
Now,
I think I can handle this.
Now, if I ask you a question, and as soon as I ask it, you'll hear me hit the space bar, kind of like that. When I hit the space bar, what that does is that opens that microphone.
Okay.
The fact is it's a microphone, and it will record things. Now, if I look at this, and being the kind of OCD perfectionist, anal type of guy that I am, if I don't like the chart, I may ask you that question a second time.
As long as I lie about that and lie about driving,
right.
I'm set.
And if I ask it a second, third time, fourth time, whatever like that, don't panic. It's just the fact that I want, because this door might close, elevator might open, someone might cough out here. It's
No sweat.
Working building. So
Got it.
also along those lines, when I'm not actually reading the results, I'm just kind of looking at the chart. If I ever kind of furrow my brow or kind of make a face or anything like that, again, don't panic. It's just me trying to sort through everything.
Yes, sir.
Make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Light switch driving over the speed limit.
Mm-hmm. Hold on 1 second. Get your shirt and stuff. There we go. Perfect. So I'm just going to calibrate it just to make sure that the microphone's capturing your voice correctly.
Okay.
Okay. Now there may be times where I kind of do this.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of let you know, just to kind of speak up just a little bit more. You don't have to shout at me, but sometimes people kind of like, I'm nervous and I'm going to get quiet, which is again completely normal and I understand it. Say yes.
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 Say no.
No.
Just a touch louder than that, which should be good. Say yes.
Yes.
No.
No.
You understand the test and everything?
I do.
Which two do you need to lie about?
I lie about light switches and I lie about driving over the speed limit.
The electrical
outlets
speed limit. Okay.
and the speed limit.
Okay.
I lie about. Got it.
Is your name Matheau Moore?
Yes.
Are there electrical outlets on the wall?
No.
Are the lights on in this room?
Yes. Did I screw it up?
No, you answered it right.
That's right.
Are the lights on in this room?
Yes.
Do you know where Emily is?
No.
Is this the month of May?
Yes.
Did you kill Emily?
No.
Are we in the city of Westerville?
Yes.
Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Am I wearing a shirt?
Yes.
How do you think it went? You comfy with it?
Yeah.
Does it make sense and everything like that?
I said maybe no to something that was a little
No.
awkward.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a second test.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's nothing that you did wrong.
Okay.
What we find out is that in a situation like this, there's what's called situational stress. And I think you can agree to that because you even said that it was stressful in here.
I am stressed.
It's your first time ever taking this. There's a
Did I fail
lot
it?
riding on. Hold on. There's a lot riding on it. I told you I didn't even look at the results. But by doing the second test, when you have someone that's stressed and not stressed, the second time around, by doing that, because the situational stress now kind of goes down a little bit, because you know that I'm not going to eat you.
Okay.
What happens is that when someone is relaxed, that actually gets better,
Okay.
and the stress actually gets worse.
It's easier to
Yes.
sense what's going
Yes.
on, the more calm I am.
Yes.
Let's keep doing it until I'm comfortable. Light switches and speed limit.
Yes, sir.
Light outlets and speed limit. Okay.
Is your name Matheau Moore?
Yes.
Is your name Matheau Moore?
Yes.
Are there electrical outlets on the wall?
No.
Are the lights on in this room?
Yes.
Do you know where Emily is?
No.
Is this the month of May?
Yes.
Did you kill Emily?
No.
Are we in the city of Westerville?
Yes.
Have you ever driven over the posted speed limit?
No.
Am I wearing a shirt?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and unclip that microphone. Yep. Easy test, isn't it? So,
Well, I hope so.
So what's going to happen is, and again, I haven't looked at it or gone over it or anything else like that. I just want to make sure that everything looks all right in order for it to be judged. I'm going to have you step out in the lobby. You can catch your breath. Do you want some more water?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Take my cup.
I'll refill it for you. There's no water thing out there. And then I'll come out and get you in a couple minutes. All right, my man?
Thank you.
Right there on the right. Nope, right here. Yep. And there should be 2 chairs in there. I'll grab the water. Be right back.
Sir, I think you have me confused with somebody else.
Yeah, that's not good. Number 4.
This is not good.
You could show deception.
Number 4, does she know where she is?
Yeah, that's definite. You said 4 and 7?
I don't remember that.
If you right click on it, you can see what the question
No.
is. Properties.
You know where Emily is. And is it 7?
And then maybe 6.
Yeah, okay, 6. Yeah, I didn't think 7 was that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real bad. You want to confront him with that?
I mean,
Or do you want us both to do it?
we can both do it.
Okay.
Pickard is going to try to find a box fan for in here, while Captain Myers is going to figure out how to run the fucking air conditioning.
I hope we can hear the stuff.
Seriously,
Keep
reading
in mind,
90.
still recording.
So I'm going to go ahead and take that microphone off.
Okay.
We actually bring it here. Holy.
It's hot.
It's toasty.
You want this
tell you
thing
what.
is blowing the cool air in?
Yeah,
Oh.
just set it.
Came from the locker room.
Okay. I will make sure to not put it back.
Crap, you turned that on just as I thought I heard this kick in.
It doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything.
You want me to get someone else to roll call, or are you confident in?
You can do the fact check too, or I'll confirm. Unless it says that, I say we'll do.
So do I. I usually have to come back in.
Can you show it to him?
Okay.
Yes, maybe or not.
No, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Are you going to be in the building or out and about?
I gotta hang close to you.
I'll text you.
Okay.
That's fine.
I know. That's why I didn't want to. I was kind of doing kid gloves with him. Now it's just like, well, let's leave.
And you agree with me?
Mm-hmm. You agree with the section? Can you do?
Deception is not protected. I don't agree with you.
I don't either.
Right there. This right here is fucking hell. What don't you agree with? I'll tell you. Hey. close to your. How do you think you did?
Good. I mean,
I'm sorry, I missed it. I was
Good.
sidetracked. Good? Okay.
how am I supposed to know? I don't
So, when basically, I'll show you the charts. When someone is honest about an answer, it kind of puts it up into a graph form. And the best way to do it is that an answer like that looks like the top of a Christmas tree. You know what that looks like?
So if I'm telling the truth, it looks like a Christmas tree. Top of a Christmas
Correct.
tree. Correct.
When someone is being deceptive about something, what happens is that top of that Christmas tree will open up more, like this.
Like an accordion.
So, does that make sense?
Okay.
I just want you to understand.
Tell me how I did, sir.
So, which one to you looks like the top of a Christmas tree in your eyes? Well,
Oh, I mean,
was
that
purple,
one's
so-
good, that one's good, that one's good, that one's no good, that one's good, that one's good, that one's no good, that one's no good.
So you said like 6 is no good, but like 1. A lot of these are.
You tell
good.
me, sir.
Okay. But
Please just tell me.
so I'm just trying to make sure because
I-
which one, if you had to pick out one, which one looks the most like?
That I was
top?
telling like the truth, though.
Okay. And which one looks the least like a Christmas tree?
That one.
Okay. So what happens is when there's no stress associated with an answer,
Right. It's
It's
totally
like this.
right.
straight to a point.
Right.
When there's not, you get that accordion.
How'd I
like
do?
this.
Tell me I did good. Tell me I'm fine.
You did not do good. This one that you picked out,
How can this be?
I'm just pointing it to you. So
You
this,
want to do it again?
this right here is one that you picked out, and then that's what the question is.
I can't believe this. I need a lawyer, I guess. You guys, I don't know what happened to Emily. I don't know what happened to her. I took it. I failed this test. I failed it.
What we're saying is there's deception indicated, in our opinion. And even in your opinion, when we explained it to you, you're saying you see...
I mean, of course, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, do you want me to take another test? Do you want me to do it again?
No.
I mean, I am extremely nervous right now. I mean,
And-
now I'm really super nervous.
But I mean, it takes all that into account. It does.
And it doesn't pick up on your physiological things like your heart rate and sweating. That's what a polygraph does. That's why they strap you in. This completely is subliminal with your voice. You know, you can't control it. You can't
I can't.
alter. You can alter your breathing. You can alter your heart rate. You
Right.
can't alter.
You're right.
So-
I'm not lying. I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it again.
What do you think happened to Emily?
I would be guessing, but I think she hurt herself.
How do you think she hurt herself?
She would say that if she was going to do it, she would hang herself.
So, and of course, no one knows anything at this point. I'm just asking for your opinion. So, you think that she hung herself?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just what does your gut say?
Did she hurt herself?
That's your gut belief right now. Has she ever
Anything
said?
I'm going to say to you now, you think I'm lying.
We are just talking.
She has talked about killing herself before, but not anything where I would call the authorities and say, you need to save her.
If she were to hang herself, where would she do it?
She would do it where she would be easily found, and she wouldn't want to cause any problems.
So since she hasn't been easily found, is it plausible that she didn't kill herself?
You tell me. You're the police. I'm not.
I just want you to just look at the entire thing. Just pull yourself out of it.
Is there a chance that she went out at some point and someone abducted her from Westerville, Ohio, and put her in the car and drove off with her? What are the odds of that happening?
In Westerville, Ohio, almost 0%.
Zero.
Especially on Memorial Day when everyone's at home. You know, it's a perfect day out.
So I'm going to say, was she abducted? No. I know I did not hurt her. I didn't do anything to her. So the other thing that I can think of is that she did something to herself.
At your house, do you guys recycle at all, or just straight trash?
We do recycle.
And what do you normally recycle?
Cans. There's a trash bin or a bin that we take up the road to some recycling bins. They have to open them.
So is it just cans, or do you do bottles or anything else? Paper?
Plastic. We also have anything that's paper or cardboard thing that we have, but I've never actually done anything with that. It hasn't built up far enough. It's pretty full right now.
So the paper one, you've never had
I don't think
recycle that
I hate to say that I did or I didn't, but I don't.
But off the top of your head, you can't recall.
The only thing that is that there's a plastic thing we put like cans in, and lately we haven't been doing it because of this. We've been saving our cans and using them for saplings for seeds for the garden. So we haven't been up there in a long time to throw them.
Are there recyclables in?
I failed that test. You're not lying to me.
You saw, he didn't lie to you
I'm
about
not.
what, you pointed out that it doesn't look like you're
doesn't
being...
look-
You even
it
said it
doesn't-
didn't look like.
I don't
how
know
the-
whether it looks good or not. I mean, but
It doesn't look good. You're right. And you even saw it yourself, and you
Right.
have never seen that test before. But that's why we still have to talk at this point. So, the recycle bin, are there recyclables in it right now, or is it?
Yes, there are. Because we haven't been up there in a while, and we've been using the cans for the saplings. It's getting there, but there's not a lot in there. Well, if there's not.
When was the last time that you recycled?
It was before the shutdown of COVID.
Oh, so it has been a while.
Because we've been super not going to the store every day, staying home.
Doing the right thing, even though it's a
Trying
complete
to.
pain in the ass.
Trying to. It's not that bad. It's just we've been using less stuff. So I used to go to the store every day through work, and part of my routine would be to go to the store and buy dinner. That stopped because of COVID, and it was just trickier there. The trash has just gone down. The level of trash.
My concern is that if we don't get to the bottom of this today, and then she crops up 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now, whatever, dead on the door now. What do people think who don't know anything about this?
I don't know. You know more than I do. I
If
can't
you
believe
were
I
to-
failed that test. I
If
can't
you
believe it.
if you were to watch like a crime show on TV, the wife just up and disappears. At some point between 9 or 10 p.m. and 11 a.m. when you woke up. What's the first person that even the general public would say?
They're gonna look at you. But do you think that I did something to her in the middle of the night? Took her somewhere and then came back home and went through what I went through. You saw my texting. You did what I did today. Does that seem like something killed her would have done? I mean,
I'm leaning that way. I'll be honest with you.
I don't know what else to do. I can't. I mean, everything it seems like that I'm telling you now is probably something I shouldn't be saying.
I want to bring her home.
Yeah, so do I. I thought you were going to come out there and be like, yeah, you're cool. And then we're going to be like, let's find her.
I just don't want her in some wood line being torn apart by raccoons.
Neither do I, sir. Can we do the test again? I don't know what to do. What am I going to do? What would you do if you were me and you were innocent? What would you do?
The exact same thing.
That I'm doing right now. Thank you. Trust me, I didn't do it. That test, I don't know what to tell you. I wish there was something I could tell you. I love my wife. I want my wife to come home.
I'm afraid that this was an accidental thing, because you are not a bad dude.
I know, and I didn't. It wasn't an accidental thing. It did not happen.
Well, it happened. She's dead at this point.
She's dead.
Realistically, she's dead. She's not going to float out of the clouds.
You found her body.
No.
No. But common sense says that she's going to be dead.
Unless she voluntarily did all this, walked away, disappeared from everything, her job and everything. I think we're all in agreement that something has happened to her.
Do you know she hasn't been to work last 2 days?
I called. We got a hold of her work. Yeah.
Do you know she had a dentist appointment today? She, on the 22nd of this month, they confirmed with her this appointment for today, and she agreed to it. And now she just up and doesn't show. These are all indicators that someone is dead.
If she's not, that she had a mental breakdown, she took off, then
what's the likelihood of that?
You tell me.
I'm not the same as the abduction.
I'm not an officer. I don't know. I've never been through it.
But common sense, with no history of any mental illness, nothing like that, hasn't had a history of attempting suicide. The likelihood of that is about the same as likelihood of white van.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to tell you?
I just want to get to the truth.
There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can tell you because I didn't do anything.
We are not at the truth right now. I told you this computer doesn't have a dog in the fight. You even pointed out. You picked out the
This is getting
lie.
odd to me because I should have passed that test. So I think there's nothing else really for me to tell you. I think I should either do the test again. Maybe you let me do the test again. Maybe I was too stressed the first time. I don't know.
What if you failed again? Then who's wrong?
What am I gonna? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. This appears to me to be very strange that I would fail something that I know I'm not lying.
You were the last person to see her alive.
I was.
She didn't float into heaven.
She didn't.
Something happened in that
I can't
condo.
believe this is happening to me right now. I can't believe this is happening to me.
It's okay.
It's not okay.
We just need to understand it.
There's something that might have happened to my wife, and we're in here talking to me about it, and I didn't do anything.
Matt,
This is very odd.
I know you can get angry with me about.
I'm suspicious of what's going on now. What am I doing? Is this still a consensual thing?
Yes, absolutely.
Can I leave?
Yes.
You can do whatever
I'm
you
out.
want.
I have to leave.
And you understand how this looks.
I didn't do anything.
You understand how this looks, though.
Matt, can I ask you one question? You can word it how you want, but her text messages about your relationship, your marriage, were bad. You can sugarcoat it. They were bad. Okay, been married.
People have bad marriages, I guess. They
Okay,
say things like that.
you were on her Facebook account. You posted a couple messages, and then you delete them. But now you don't remember. Okay.
I didn't. I mean, if that even happened, why would I delete them? What purpose would that?
I don't know.
cause?
That's what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to ask you
Does
about.
that sound like something someone would do?
I don't know.
It's silly. It's silly.
So why did you do it?
Silly. I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking. Give me my phone. I'll figure out. Let me get with someone that wants to help
Why
me.
on her phone were there deleted iPhone messages after she was reported missing? How did that happen?
You would have to show me. You'd have to show me what you're talking about.
Show you the forensics? I'm telling you this happened. I've not bullshitted or lied to you one time.
Haven't, and I haven't.
And I'm not starting it now.
I haven't bullshitted you.
The phone forensics are telling me different. Excuse me.
This is a dream. I'm in a dream right now. I didn't do anything to my wife. This is a dream.
The bottom line is that no one else here has an opportunity to do this.
Matt, and then you also said you guys have a great marriage and no problems, and then the neighbors say they heard you guys yelling at each other a couple weeks ago. But they're lying.
They're not. I mean, we could have been yelling. I mean, people have. I'm in a marriage.
But you.
I'm in a marriage.
But why? There
was. It's never.
But when someone says, "How was your marriage?"
I guess I'm really super positive, and you know what I mean. Try to.
That's bullshit, though, man.
Okay, then I don't really.
If someone asks you a question, you still answer it honestly.
Especially in a very important situation like this.
Any human being.
I guess I answered it wrong.
Because you're not trying to find your wife right now.
Yes, I am.
You don't lie to the cops.
Any inconsistencies?
You lied.
I didn't lie.
You didn't lie to Officer Hollis. You didn't lie to us
I haven't
yesterday.
lied to anybody. If I said something, I misrepresented something. I wasn't an intentional
Misrepresentation is a fucking lie.
I didn't.
That is a lie. There's truth or lies. That's all there is. There's no misrepresentation, misunderstanding. That's horseshit. You fucking killed her.
No, I didn't, sir.
Bullshit.
I didn't kill her.
You killed her, and it was an accident, and we need to get this resolved today.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
It
sir.
did happen.
I would tell you.
She's dead.
How do you, where is she? What are you talking about?
That's why we have you here.
People are saying they've seen her.
People are full of shit.
Yeah.
Like at Wendy's?
Witnesses are the worst.
At Broad and High?
Eyewitnesses are the absolute
How'd that
worst.
work out?
Trust me, I went down there. It was horrifying. And then when I talked to her on the phone, she's like, all right, she got all mad at me. Guys, I didn't do this.
The worst
man.
part of investigation is an eyewitness.
I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I would tell you. I would tell you.
Who did it then?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
That's right.
You don't get up till 11. It's pretty fucking convenient when you wake up later than normal. It's pretty fucking convenient.
It doesn't look good.
That she doesn't
mean I
have.
did it.
It doesn't have her cell phone.
It doesn't look
Matt,
good.
can I
It
ask
doesn't
you a
mean
question?
No, it doesn't.
I'm not a killer.
Matt.
I'm not a bad guy.
Matt, can
I
I ask you a
have no
question?
history of any kind of violent shit like
Can
that.
I ask you a question?
Of course.
Okay.
Help
You
me.
Okay, you said you found her phone beside her bed on the nightstand, correct?
At some point during the day, I did.
Okay.
I'm going to say.
No,
Okay,
hold
go
on,
ahead.
just stop,
Go
please.
ahead.
You sometimes when I ask you a direct question, then you start talking in
All right,
circles,
I'm
and
sorry.
that's not a good.
I'm
That's
sorry.
not a good sign. Okay. Isn't it odd how you said she goes to bed, puts it there beside her bed, and then that's where it is until she wakes up in the morning. But yet we're supposed to believe she got up in the morning for several hours, walked around, did her chores, did her work, went for a walk, but never picked that phone up and moved it from where it was that time when she went to bed, because you know why? She laid down in that bed, and here's how it looks. She laid down in that bed, put that phone there, and then she never got back up. Because I don't believe, and from you can't convince me, that she got up, went around for 3-4 hours, did things around the house, went for a walk, did whatever, and didn't pick that phone up and take it with her. That's the first thing I do. My phone is beside my dresser every day. First thing I do is pick it up. So you know what that tells me? Is that she laid down that night, put her phone there, and she never got back up. Does that tell that to you also?
No.
So you think she
I
got up and
I don't know.
I'm not asking if you did it. I'm asking you a direct question. So you think she got up,
I'm not a
walked
detective.
around? I know you're not. You
But
said that a
you
million
know
times.
her.
I know you're not. I'm asking you a question. So you think she got up, walked around for several hours, did whatever she does in the morning normally, make coffee, make tea, do whatever, and didn't pick her phone up at any point?
I'm not sure if she was there. I don't know. I checked on my phone to see if her phone was still there.
I know
It said
she's
it was
not.
still
I know
there.
she's not there. I'm saying her phone is exactly where it was left when she lay down to go to bed that night. And when she got up and went around and did her thing, she never picked it up. That seems really odd to me. On top of a lot of odd
Everything
things.
seems really odd. The really
Not-
odd
not-
thing is
not-
that
not-
I didn't do this, and you two think
Not
I did.
everything.
I don't know how to.
All I'm asking
not
you to
going
do-
talk you out of it.
No, all I'm asking you to do is, I'm just asking you about that situation. Explain that to me. How did that
I
happen?
can't.
And when all is said and done, because obviously, we're going to do forensics and whole 9 yards and everything else like that, and cell phone towers and
The cell phone towers might let you know that I was in my son's room on my phone doing my thing
Okay.
during when you think that I
But
did
the
this.
bottom line is that we can still prosecute a homicide without a body. If you did this, we can still help the situation right now. Because I have had cases before where it's been an accident and the husband has freaked
It
out.
didn't happen. I didn't do it.
She didn't levitate through
I
the
didn't
ceiling.
do it.
Who did?
I don't know. You want me to get on that machine again?
No, because you failed it. I'm not going to run it through this and waste my time again.
Unbelievable.
You failed it.
Unbelievable. Okay.
I told you that thing's got no dog in the fight. Whatever it says is what happened.
Even beyond the oddity of, she disappears, doesn't take any of her stuff, and the first person you look at is the spouse, okay? There are other levels here that aren't adding up. Like I said, the phone, the marriage that does not look like it's doing very well, despite what you're telling me. Neighbors saying you're out arguing and things like that. Some pretty nasty text messages between you and her going back to
People
last
argue
year.
and
You're absolutely right. What I'm saying is when
People
you throw all of those onto what we already know is that you're the last person
someone
to.
murdering someone.
It certainly makes it very suspicious.
I don't know what kind of world you live in, but that's not my world.
Well, when
I'm a peaceful person.
But
so is my wife.
you said the last 6 months have been bliss. Your words tonight, yes?
Bliss? If that's what you want to say I said, I don't know, rewind it, I guess.
Were the last 6 months okay in
They
your
were
words?
really good.
You gave him an 8.
That was really
Because
good.
those text messages from the last couple
But
of weeks
that's not
say that
things,
you're full
things,
of shit.
Things,
Her phone
I'm
says
done,
you're
I'm
full
done,
of shit.
I'm done. I have to go.
That thing's full of shit. You understand how this looks, though, to everybody.
You guys,
Yes.
I didn't do anything to my wife. Trust me.
I
don't know
murdered
what I
her
did.
and
I
you
didn't-
threw her
I
out
didn't.
like a
I
piece of
didn't.
garbage.
I didn't.
Well,
sir.
then tell me where she is.
I don't know.
Fix
and
it
I
right
didn't.
now.
I didn't. I don't know why this is
Is
happening.
this yours?
That's fine.
Okay.
Can I get my phone back?
No.
Nope.
No, it's going to come with us.
Can I get my car keys or whatever?
They're out at your house.
So I have to walk home?
No, we're going to get your ride.
Dad's here.